Okay, I think and hope I'm live. It feels like the gimbal's giving me a little bit of stuff, but we are here at J Center Mall today. There we go. There we go. I need to do my annual check-in today. And here at J Center Mall is where you do it in Cebu. And try not to get hit here. If there's anybody actually watching this, or it's actually going through this time, let me know if there's any shake or weirdness in the video, because it feels like the gimbal isn't quite balanced right. And I've tried twice and it's just not working for me. So I need to figure out tomorrow what's going on with this, or maybe later today. But this is actually the J Center Mall area. Yeah, stop and tapping comments button to see if anybody's commenting yet. I also forgot to see how many gigabytes I was using beforehand. I think I can take last week's and double check that way, or at least get a close count. Yeah, we're back to that thing that sidewalks here are kind of a unique hazard all into themselves. I may have to cut this one actually way short because it's starting to rain, and I don't know how well either the gimbal or the phone is going to handle a little bit of moisture, so I'm going to see if I can do at least 10 minutes. Oh, 24-hour money changer. Yeah, a lot of this stuff is new to me too, so you'll see me stop and look at these things just as much as I do you, or just as much as you guys do. Now, that big hotel is actually attached to J Center Mall. I'm going to head back to J Center Mall and see if I can get under a little bit of cover before it starts raining too awful badly. Hey, there we go. I had comments turned off. Hey, Rodney Full Silker, how you doing today? And thank you for letting me know that I'm actually online and there's people watching this one today. The last one that I did, it never showed up anywhere, and I don't quite understand why, but it seems if I shut down and log off the app that I use, that it actually does re-log in when I have to. It works. Yeah, across the street here again too. Hopefully I can have enough of a signal up here by the building. I'd love to do the live stream inside, but I don't know if I'll still have enough signal. So if it starts dropping out or acting too funky, let me know if you would. Yeah, not exactly the safest place to be walking, it seems. J Mart. Did they have their own version of Circle K, it looks like. There we go. Yeah, I was actually here last year. That I did my check-in here about this time last year. We're going to see if it gets any better or worse out there. Yeah, it looks like it's still sprinkling pretty good. Only in the Philippines will you see a 7-Eleven in a mall. Yeah, the mall hasn't even opened and parking, the motorcycle parking is already full. I'm not sure the Philippines actually has a summer. Uh-oh. I got a message trying to reconnect, so if I'm back out there, please let me know. Yeah, I think it cleared up a little bit. There we go. That, yeah, this morning it was 80 Fahrenheit and 70% humidity. Or 77 Fahrenheit and 70% humidity with a really nice breeze on the balcony, so it was actually really comfortable. That I'm actually kind of looking forward. I've been here in May, July, and August, and January, and February. Yeah, I've been here a few different months. But I've been in different regions for that time too, so I guess different regions have different wet and dry seasons. Man, what the? I'm gonna try and cross this. Hey, that wasn't too bad. Spoke a little bit early. Yeah, that hotel I showed you a few minutes ago is the Tokyo Inn. There we go. Go while the getting's good. That's the bike that I have. See, here's a different multi-cab manufacturer. And the one thing we noticed on ours, the wipers are on backwards. That they wipe this direction, and it doesn't completely clear the driver's field of view. That here soon I'll do a more in-depth review of Sunshine and kind of point out a few things that I never would have thought I would look for when buying a multi-gap. But in the US, they would have just left it as a right-hand drive vehicle too. So is anybody still out there? But yeah, I keep trying to read the comments. I actually remember my glasses this time too, so. It looks like a current area. I have no idea how to pronounce that express place, but I'm assuming Chinese food. Oop. Get out of the way for people passing. All tires free install, huh? Yeah, I'm getting to that age where glasses are kind of important, unfortunately. I can see, just not well enough to read. Which kind of makes driving and looking for street signs rather interesting back in the US, but here it's not such a big deal because they just don't have any street signs. That I guess Mama and Papa have gotten the rest of their paperwork and are gonna be coming today, later sometime, to get booked and go to CDO for a while. Yeah, I'm John of John and Cindy. This is actually Cebu City, Mandaue area. I'm not sure if Mandaue is a separate city from Cebu City, or if it's just a district within Cebu, but it's definitely part of Metro Cebu. Another convenience store. The little convenience stores are real common and popular here. Hey, there you go. Muay Thai foot and body massage. Yeah, trying to travel internationally is crap, because rules are changing so stinking fast. There was another subscriber that we know. He's been trying off and on since May to get here. Unfortunately, his wife isn't traveling with him, and he never got to 13A. So he's had a couple of false starts and refunded plane tickets. Yeah, I guess they've got a bunch of different branches of that Muay Thai. Another motorbike shop. A lot of motorbike shops here. And of course, Jollibee. After the live stream, I may swing at a Jollibee and grab one of their breakfasts. I actually kind of like their breakfast meals. Their burgers are, yeah, not so much. The chicken joint is really good. So Rodney, are you married to a Filipina as well? although they're quite different than pawn shops back in the US, pawn shops are insanely common here. Oh, very cool. Congratulations. Is she from CDO as well? Is that, I'm assuming that's why you're going to CDO. Agravet supplies. Mandaue. That you'll have to invite us to the wedding. That we should be in that general area by then. I'm kind of hoping against hope that we'll be able to do some live streams from CDO. That I kind of enjoy doing these, and it helps get me out and get me exercise that I actually do need. Being able to do these down here is actually kind of fun. It gives me a chance to explore the area. I'm gonna try and do as much video as I can, as they'll allow me to do. Mandaue. When I go in and get the ACR check-in. There's a Yamaha dealer over there. On my way out, if we're not doing anything, I may have to run into there. And Cindy, there's actually a 360 pharmacy that I'll talk with you when I get done. Maybe we can get some prescriptions there. Rodney, our intent is to get to CDO for a few months, and Mama and Papa are going to Mandaue up in Bukidnon. So yeah, we will definitely be in that area by October, hopefully. Are you planning on moving here, or just coming here for a short term? Oh. I know that feeling. When Cindy and I first got married 6 years ago, that it was just about a 3-week vacation is all I could do, because I had to get back to work. 2 months is a beautiful time to come here. And I don't know where you're from, but October, they put you October, November here. Depending on where you're from, that could be a great time to get out of the early snow, late fall. That with the way immigration is shaping up, it might be a whole lot easier for her to get there at this point too. That we were hugely blessed. That I'm not sure about Canadian immigration. Is it? Oh, that one kind of surprised me. That is that any harder or easier than U.S. immigration? And I guess that actually begs the question: would she be able to go back with you? Yeah, I'm not trying now. Looks like they got a downslope over there too. I'm going with discretion, better part of valor, and all that good rot. This is kind of more of an industrial area, I think, if they actually have such a thing in the Philippines. Oh! Jeepies don't play around, it seems. I'm kind of surprised. That one's actually pretty full. Up by Ayala, it's not uncommon to see these jeepies still with 1 or 2 people in them. Uh-oh. It's starting to come down pretty good again. Now this is something you see a little bit. Right over in there. There's Korean surplus. You see a lot of surplus goods here. There we go. Out of curiosity, oh, Vancouver, so you're over in British Columbia. I've got a sister that lives up Central Willie, Washington, just across the border in that area. And I know that Vancouver has direct flights to Manila. You might be able to find a direct flight to Cebu too. Cebu's the more preferred flight if you can get it. Less restrictions and way closer to CDO. But there again, you know, if you fly into Manila, you can still fly straight to CDO from Manila too. So I guess in that way, it's kind of a wash. For us, getting to Cebu was insanely important because we did not want to deal with going through Manila to get to Cebu. I found an overhang. I think I'm gonna hang out in for a little bit. Now that building says it's the North Atrium. There we go. Yeah, I gotta look on the screen because where I'm pointing doesn't line up with where the screen's pointing me. I had no idea what that is. I thought it was a hotel at first, but I guess it's not. Looking at it, looked like a Honda dealer, but I guess he's actually moving. That I don't think CDO is actually an international airport or handles a lot of international traffic. Cebu a year ago was just opening theirs to doing a lot more international. In the U.S., Philippine Airlines was the only one that we could do the direct flight with. I'm hoping, and they're coming out with a lot of these vaccines, that at this point, the vaccines, once they become widely available, should open up a lot more. Mayambundak! Yeah, I'm going to wander back to the J Center Mall. Philippine Airlines is the preferred airline, but right now they're in some serious financial straits, just shy of bankruptcy. If you want to rent a building, they got a big sign on there for rent. an ad space to call. I gotta come back down and check out that Yamaha dealer. I'm kind of curious. Yeah. That's the other cool thing. The traffic lights here have it in seconds how long it's going to stay, and they normally do a countdown. One time I got on my video, they're not doing it. But they normally count down on how long it's going to stay that color, and they do it for red, yellow, and green. Mixing feeds. My Mandaue. I could see that countdown in the U.S. being abused rather quickly, and people swearing up and down I had more time, and I love the idea, and here it works out great. But yeah, I could see it being abused badly in the U.S. Rodney, you might want to consider and just double check it. The times that we had to fly into Manila to get to Cebu, but it was actually a slightly cheaper, by a few $100, to book a ticket from Phoenix to Manila and then separately book a ticket from Manila to Cebu. So you might want to consider doing that, or at least checking into it. I'm gonna see if it's good enough to go off and under the. Hey, there we go. It stopped. Maybe it didn't stop. It just lightened up. Yeah, there's a lot of traffic for being COVID. See, I came from almost 30 years in the desert of Phoenix, so I actually kind of enjoy the rain. I'm just a little concerned about the phone, how much it enjoys the rain. But yeah, we've had our fair share of downpours here too, especially in Cebu. That they seem to get a little bit more rain than Cebu does even. But we actually brought full rain gear just to cope with it a little bit better. That I actually grew up just south of Buffalo, New York. So I've been to Toronto and Montreal kind of frequently. But that's my extent of Canada. I don't think I've ever been any further west than Sudbury that we went one time over by Michigan. That we went in up at Toronto when I was a kid. That my parents did a lot of camping with a travel trailer, and we went in over by Toronto, and then went all the way through Canada to Sudbury and came down through Michigan and back to New York. Yes, I am. The Canadian accents were actually pretty common in that area. There were not a whole lot, but there are a few workers that they actually worked in Buffalo and in some of the areas down in New York. And there were definitely a lot of tourists. You saw a lot of Canadian Ontario plates. That a few things were cheaper to come from Canada to the US and get. And whenever we'd go up to Canada, there were a few things cheaper to get in Canada and bring back. We kind of use the tax laws to favor. That we try to do a live stream about 9 to 10 a.m. Philippine time on Wednesday and Fridays. That's in between our normal postings on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, U.S. time. I normally try to do about an hour. Last Friday I had some issues that it didn't log on for some reason. And I think I figured it out, but I just need to shut down the program and then log out when I'm done on the app. So hopefully no more of those. But the gimbal's been giving me a little bit of problem on vibration, so I'm not sure if it's just not quite balanced right, if it's fussing because of the weather, or what. Yeah, I'm thinking the gas taxes and some of the taxes may skyrocket here in the U.S. in the near future. I try to stay away from politics and stuff on the channel for a ton of reasons. But, I keep on teasing people who are economic refugees from the U.S. That next Tuesday our time, Monday your time, our next Chica Chica, that we're going to do that as a live stream. Go through the Chica Chica and then answer any questions that people have. I was kind of wondering about that message. That the other thing that some people do here, oop, a lot of traffic. Remember that. The other thing a lot of people do here is work online. That's actually what Cindy's doing. I'd kind of like to go back through and check this out. I may do that afterwards, depending. Well, a lot of people do remote work. That's basically what Cindy's doing. Is she's working for a U.S. company in the U.S. online And right now during tax season in the U.S., she's actually working daytime here, overnight there, so that way and get submitted for taxes. Oop. Need to get out of the way quick of that guy. After you get married, you can do a 13A visa. That it's got some really good perks to it. It's got some drawbacks to it as well. One of the biggest drawbacks is every time you leave country, you got to pay like 25 or 3,000 pesos, 2,500 or 3,000 pesos. But if you don't plan on leaving terribly often, just once a year or so, that's not that big of a deal. Yeah, that can be a little bit of a challenge. And I know you probably don't have a teaching background, but teaching English online is kind of common. A lot of people from Asia, that they don't so much need to be taught the English, but they need to practice speaking it, and to get the pronunciations, to get the idioms, and to get the fluency in it. A covered area that I'm going to hang out in for a few minutes. The main way to do it, the 13A visa. That is for the 13A is for spouses of Filipino citizens. And that's actually what I've got, and why I'm in here and going to be heading up in that general area here. Probably in about 15 minutes. I'm going to try and do a little video. As much as they'll let me do. And I'm going to try and do a little bit of a video on the check-in. Wow. Yeah, I'm in a spot where I can get covered. All except one little gap. I can get covered all the way back to the mall. So I'm just going to park it here until it's time. With my visa, with the 13A, I am a permanent resident. That I don't need to leave. That's the biggest advantage of the 13A visa, is that once when you come in, you don't need to go. One of the drawbacks to it is exactly what I'm doing, is in January or February, you have to come in and do a check-in for your ACR card. So if it's going to be a few years before you come and live permanent, you need to plan on vacation to be here to do your check-in. Yeah, I got the advantage of being fat, old, and broken, so I'm retired, disability retirement, and that between my retirement and disability, that we make more than enough to very comfortably live here. That the other, a couple other advantages. I think we got a pros and cons video. Check back the description. I will try and remember to go in and put a link to that. We did kind of a little short pros and cons about the 13A. The biggest way that a lot of people get here and manage to stay and generate enough income is that they teach English, and Canadians close enough to American English because they don't want Australians or Brits speaking it, because American English is the most common English. And so Canadians close enough that very few people would recognize a little bit of differences that you would have, and you would definitely understand any of the idiosyncrasies that we have that when we speak. And you might be surprised. It's not going to be a great income. I doubt you could make enough to live in Canada or the US to live here. You'll have some kind of retirement. I don't know about in the pension system in Canada. I'm kind of that up by Ayala, that you come across these jeepneys that are almost empty. Oh, thank you, Cindy. Cindy just posted that link, I believe. And do a look for Gio in the Philippines. That he's actually a teacher, that he's been all over Southeast Asia, and that's all he does is teach English online. And he does okay and pretty successfully, apparently. But I believe he was actually a teacher too, so I don't know. Oh, right there's a Suzuki dealer. And they've got a multi-cab. I don't know if you can see it. They got a multi-cab, a brand new multi-cab. I may have to go check that out afterwards. But we've been doing this for 45 minutes, and I'm actually going to sign off and try and dodge raindrops and head inside so I don't get terribly wet. Suzukis are really common here, both as the car and the multi-cab, obviously. But the multi-cabs you get are actually Japanese surplus. The Suzukis that were sold in the US were really decent quality vehicles. They just had too much of a problem and too much of an expense keeping up with all the American regulations, and they just pulled from the market altogether. I was reading an article this morning that I really like the Nissan Xterra, and they're talking about reintroducing it because was a really good seller. But that's the issue that Nissan's saying, is that getting back through the crash testings and emission testing in the US, it's just not worth it. And so sadly, a lot of models that are common in the rest of the world aren't in the US. But before I get on another sidetrack, I'm going to tear out of here. Somewhere on here, and I don't remember the button, I had figured out how to flip this around and log off. But I'm just going to say bye, and you can pretend me waving. Mabuhay. Enjoy, people. Thanks for watching.